again, like I also will say too, is I'm really excited about Nolan Teasley and just that his mentality of,
Yeah.
again, he seems to have that mentality of the trenches. And I know a lot of us Viking fans have been, again, pounding on that for, again, decades, it seems. And so I think, like, you can look at what honestly, that's how the Seahawks did it. Obviously, again, we look to even like the Lions, again, there is that mentality of building that out. And, again, we have put a lot of resources into some of those, lines and get that back now.
Yeah, and I like the different guys that he's bringing in. And some of you guys may say, "Hey, Ryan Pace isn't, the guy that we want in here. How should he be able to give any advice on anything?" You guys also have to realize that Ryan Pace got to where he was because he was successful in doing well in organizations to help build organizations, and that's why he was a strong candidate previously. And I think by adding him, what Nolan Teasley is doing is putting smart guys around him that can help him do some of the analysis. That way he can make the right decisions for the organization as a whole. And I think one of them that he's going to have to tackle right away is going to have to be whether or not we re-sign Brian O'Neill. And
Yep.
yes, we drafted an offensive tackle, but Caleb Tieran, we don't know if he can play and start in this league at right tackle. And you have 1 year left on Brian O'Neill, who's been the most reliable offensive line, arguably most reliable player for
Yeah.
the Vikings over his tenure here. And,
Well, then if you talk about the captain, again, and the leadership qualities or whatever, which
mhm.
we all know, and then you just lost CJ Ham, which is a huge part of it. Like those are qualities. And again, especially when you're talking about, again, us as an organization that have really invested a lot into, again, like the culture and everything, those things do play a big part into it.
Absolutely. And when you had as many injuries and issues on your offensive line last year, I would think that that has to be an issue of importance for Nolan Teasley to tackle, probably sooner than later. Now, we saw, and, it doesn't sound like he plans to hold out, but you saw him kind of sitting out a lot of our mini camp practices. I have to assume that a lot of that has to do with contract related stuff. And, you don't know where your future is. So I'm hoping he addresses that. But I do like the people that he's trying to surround himself. He's not saying, "Hey, I can do it all." He's trying to, he's made some changes within the staff
Yeah.
on the scouting front as well. So we'll have to see what it all looks like under Nolan Teasley. But obviously, I think a lot of the signs that we're seeing already from him are positive. And so I'm excited for the Nolan Teasley era,
Yeah.
if you will. He knows what it takes to he's seen a winning organization over in Seattle and what it took to build that. And hopefully he brings some of that here.
Yeah. No, again, I agree. And again, I'm really excited about him. And like the thing with like bringing someone like Ryan Pace and some of those, yeah, I know we can make the memes and the jokes or whatever, but I can tell you what, sometimes, again, owning a business in there, and yes, it's nowhere near running $1 billion franchise or organization. But the point being is there's some, again, just, dynamics that start to kind of happen that it's good to know why didn't that work out or what was your guys' thinking, again, there and using that. So guys, it's not like Ryan Pace coming here and making on all the decisions. It's actually good to have good data points as well as wrong or, again, things that didn't work out. So you can talk about that. I mean, we do all that at a time within our businesses is we don't hit, again, like 1,000 every time that we're up to bat and stuff like that. So I think sometimes you have to remember that a little bit too. Plus, what I loved about Nolan Teasley too is a few years ago, The Athletic always does a lot of those polls, a lot of anonymous ones, and one of them is who's kind of the best like scout player personnel kind of mind or whatever. And he was the only assistant GM even listed that people named. Two people in the league named him as the best. Again, just kind of scouting mind out there amongst others, again, even his boss and everything like that. But I thought it was quite amazing that an assistant GM got 2 votes for that and was the only non GM in that entire poll that got votes. So I think that's kind of cool too.